What the duck is up, everyone? Thank you for joining us for another episode of DuckTakes. As always, with me, my co-host Garrett.
Hi, everybody.
So, if you are listening to this already, then you are listening to the early access spoiler-free review on Patreon. And if you are listening to this on opening day of Thunderbolts,
Get Patreon. Have it earlier.
happy opening Thunderbolts day. Hope you guys enjoy the movie. And we're going to dive into a spoiler-free review. We're going to go over some questions from our Discord as well. That will remain spoiler-free. And then we will give you a heads up when we want to dive into spoilers. And we will get into all the juicy stuff, the spoilers, the after credits, end credit scenes that they weren't lying. They are pretty juicy.
They're cooking.
So Garrett and I did get a chance to check out Thunderbolts early. 10 locations in the U.S. We're getting a chance to check out Thunderbolts early because they did have their premiere in London yesterday as well. So I think that's the main reason why they also wanted to do the early screening so that people in the States could see it as well.
Yeah, not everybody's making it to London.
Yeah, no. I wonder why they did the premiere in London, actually, now I'm thinking about it. Who knows? But we did get to check out Thunderbolts early. And honestly, Thunderbolts was probably, out of the 3 coming out this year, this one was actually my most anticipated. Out of the 3 of Captain America Brave New World, Thunderbolts, and Fantastic Four. Now you're saying to yourself, Blake, why wouldn't it be Fantastic Four?
I don't know, maybe because that's something we've gotten before. I don't know.
Maybe it could just be the lineup of a cast that we got in Thunderbolts between Sebastian Stan, Florence Pugh, David Harbour.
I will tell you, if you were giving me the cast list alone, I would pick Thunderbolts 100%. Yeah.
And there was just something about Thunderbolts that felt a little different based off of the trailers, you know, felt a little more artsy, maybe a little more grounded. Yeah. Compared to what we've gotten in recent MCU movies.
I mean, definitely more grounded just on the type of characters that we were getting in this. You know, it wasn't like all these super powered beings and everything. Like, I mean, there was some super strength involved, but that's about it. Yeah. For like our core group of people.
Thunderbolts, everyone deserves a second shot. After finding themselves ensnared in a death trap, 7 disillusioned cast-off must embark on a dangerous mission that will force them to confront the darkest corners of their past. Do you want to go ahead and give our Letterboxd rating of this movie?
You mean my hypothetical Letterboxd rating?
Your hypothetical Letterboxd rating. So, what would you give Thunderbolts out of 5 stars?
I will go 3.5.
Oh, that's exactly what I gave it.
Yeah.
3.5 stars.
I'll go 3.5.
Yeah, I think
I don't think it quite hit that 4 marker. I think upon a rewatch that could change.
Right.
Because there was a lot of positives to come out of this movie.
A lot of positive. I think it was a solid MCU movie. I think it's a step in the right direction.
For sure.
I think if, since we got Daredevil Born Again, Thunderbolts, and if Fantastic Four is also another solid installment, then we're back.
Yeah.
I think
we're back, baby.
I think it's safe to say we're back for the 20th time. But no, I do think it is at least like a step in the right direction. I think there was a lot of positives to come out of it. Those positives, and for me being definitely Florence Pugh and David Harbour, that was the major highlight in Thunderbolts for me, was their relationship.
Chemistry was amazing.
It was amazing. Honestly, the chemistry between the whole crew was good.
No, it was good. And bro, I loved David Harbour in this.
Yeah, he's great.
David Harbour was the best. He was like the best source of comic relief throughout the entire movie.
But a great source of emotional relief as well.
No, I know. Yeah. It wasn't just that. No, he had some very serious moments with Yelena, and they were beautiful.
No, it's a great father-daughter relationship that they had. And I thought, after the movie and I was thinking about their relationship, I was thinking like, we don't really have too many father-daughter relationships in the MCU.
No, we don't. We have like father-son with Tony and Peter. We have father-son literally with Odin and his children. I don't know, like of like main characters, I don't really think we do get like a father-daughter dynamic.
Because the father-daughter dynamics that I could think of was Scott Lang and Cassie Lang.
Yeah. Okay, but the only time we ever actually expand on that is in Quantumania.
That's what I'm saying.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
But actually, wait, I did just think, TV show.
Yes.
Hawkeye.
That's the next one I was going to, where not biologically father and daughter relationship, but no, it's I do like that relationship a lot between Clint and Kate Bishop.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's like the second best father and daughter dynamic that we get in the MCU. The Clint and Kate one.
Yeah.
I think Yelena and Red Guardian, what's his real name?
His Russian name?
Yes.
What is it? It's actually like kind of complicated. That's why I can never remember it.
Oh, Alexei.
That's it.
Yes.
Okay. That's
Alexei Shostakov.
Shostakov.
Yeah.
All right. That's not as complicated as I thought. Never mind.
I think that is the best father-daughter dynamic that we have in the MCU.
I would agree with you on that.
What other positives would you grab from this?
Like I said, this is actually a decently funny movie.
Yeah.
I thought that was a big positive for it. I liked how simple the story was.
Mm-hmm.
Like it literally just starts off with them getting all trapped together. Like that is the first thing that we see off of this movie, basically. And it forces them to work together. I don't know. It just like, it was a very simple plot from the beginning.
Yeah.
And it just, it kept them from muddying the waters. So that was definitely a good thing going for it.
Yeah, no, it's definitely, I definitely know what you mean. It's definitely one of the more matured themed Marvel movies. I think, it has one of the darker themes. I think it has like a really relatable message as well. I think this whole movie is just like one big metaphor for depression, loneliness.
I mean, it's not a metaphor. They're pretty straight up about it.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
But yeah, no, it does address depression is like a major theme of this, and especially when we're dealing with characters like the ones that we get in this. They're like mercenaries. They're they lead very lonely lives. I mean, if you're a mercenary, things can't really be going well for you in other departments of your life.
True. So I never thought about it like that.
Yeah, I mean, everybody, being a stone cold killer sounds cool, but the reality of it is very grim.
Yeah.
So they constantly talk about loneliness throughout this movie, which ends up being like a very important thing as we get on later in the movie.
Yeah.
And
no, it's definitely not afraid to tackle like the heavy themes here.
No,
in a Marvel movie, which is nice to see,
And I think that was definitely another positive for it because it made it feel a lot more real. But yeah, these themes of loneliness that we see throughout the entire movie, it makes those moments between Alexei and Yelena like that much more special because like he's there when she needed him to be. So
yeah, no, I think there's a few moments in this movie that like, oh wow, that genuinely got me emotional.
Yeah,
which
man.
I wasn't expecting because these are characters, at least most of them, they're characters that we really haven't gotten to spend too much time with.
Yeah, like
besides
side characters.
Bucky. Yeah, they're a bunch of side characters. So, in those scenes where I was feeling emotional, it was like a nice surprise as well. Like, wow, I can't remember like the last time that I've really felt this emotional care for characters in the MCU,
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah.
I felt for like every person that was involved in this movie.
Nice. That felt really nice.
It was very refreshing. It didn't feel like it was being shoved down your throat. Like, oh, here's our new person, and you're supposed to like this person, and like you're supposed to care about what happens to this person.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like that at all. It felt very natural.
Did.
Because I think part of the reason for that is because these are characters that we're familiar with, but they've just kind of been there.
Yeah.
And I don't know. And now they're just expanding on something that we are already previously familiar with rather than trying to take like a whole new person and shove it in our face.
Let's see. Another positive, I would say, I'll say this. I'm not going to dive into like spoilers about this right now. Obviously, that'll be later. But it is starting to feel like Thunderbolts is the movie where now the vision kind of seems clear.
Yes. No, I wanted to say that, but I thought we were going to wait until we get to spoilers later.
I'm not going to say specifically why.
No, but yes, this is the first movie I was like, oh, there is a plan.
Yeah.
Because honestly, up until now, I have just been so confused on where the MCU is headed. And this at least gave clarity to one thing that we know is coming and
Honestly,
how it's going to fit into the MCU.
Yeah. Yeah, and it kind of gave clarity to like a few things. Honestly, it even makes Brave New World make more sense. Like Thunderbolts made Brave New World make more sense.
Did it?
At least the end credit scene wise. I mean, Brave New World's end credit scene was fucking dog shit.
Yeah, it was absolute dog shit.
Yeah. We're also gonna give a ranking in the we'll do it in the spoiler-free section as well. So before the spoilers, you will get a top 10 MCU end credit scene ranking. If Thunderbolts end credit scene comes up, we will just keep it spoiler-free in that ranking list. But yeah, no, I after the movie, I was like, okay, I'm starting to see something.
Yeah. And that was the first time I had heard from like a crowd in the theater from an end credit scene in a while. They were like, oh, like you heard the collective ooh.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard that in a while.
You didn't hear no collective ooh in Brave New World.
No, everybody was like, what the fuck is this guy doing? And what do you even say? He was like, something's coming. Something's coming. Wow. Thanks, bud.
Very
like
vague.
We didn't already fucking know that.
Yeah. Positive, I would say as well, is the action. The action scenes in this movie.
Action was good.
They kept things pretty practical. I noticed like even with the stunts and everything, we saw a clip posted from Marvel of Florence Pugh, like the very opening scene. She does the stunt of jumping off the skyscraper. And so yeah, it was just and they were actually on the fucking skyscraper. It's not like she was just jumping off.
Yeah.
A 20-foot tall green screen. So that also felt nice. And you could even tell there was the practical stunts and effects when it came to a car chase scene.
The car, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. And I like that in that action scene they had some throwbacks to some previous like tech that was used in older fights. And it let you know immediately who it was. I loved it.
Yeah. No, I think there are a decent amount of positives that come out of Thunderbolts.
There are.
Yeah. And we'll see what happens on a rewatch and if it can go up in the ratings.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think I have like too many things that I think took away from the movie. Like negatives per se. It's just like the good things that we saw, they weren't like, amazing status, it was great. It was enjoyable. I had a good time with it. And it's not like there's things that are taking away from this movie that made me not like it. It's just like those good things weren't amazing.
Okay.
Like, would you agree with that? Or like, did you have
nothing like knocked my socks off? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, did you find any like negatives that you thought did take away from it?
So yeah, we'll dive into negatives in a minute because I do have a few negatives. I did also like Lewis Pullman as Sentry.
I thought he did a good job.
And as we've already know, this isn't a spoiler, but he has been cast in Avengers Doomsday. So he will be returning. But so for my negatives, one major one for me would be the pacing of this movie. So in particular, I think in the middle, like the second and third act, because there's a moment where our characters are on like the other side of the country and we're suspecting that there's going to be sort of a road trip involved that'll also give us time to
develop a bond.
Yeah, develop a bond with our characters, our group, our newly developed group.
Yeah.
But they go from like one side of the country to the next side of the country, not in a plane, but like I don't even know where they got the truck. And it just happens so quick. It's like one scene they're in the like New Mexico, and then the next scene they're in New York for the big third act. And it's just like that kind of comes out of nowhere and it kind of takes me out. It makes it seem like no time has really passed, because even when Sentry is like starting to develop his powers, it just happens all so quickly.
Okay. I can see where you're coming from with that. Like, yeah, because Sentry does go from like, just discovering his abilities to like pretty masterful use of them pretty quickly. So I see where you're coming from in that. Yeah, no, I can see where you're coming from. What would you have like say add like another 15 minutes to it?
Shit, you could have even had just like 10 more minutes.
Yeah. 10 split between Century and the road trip.
Because even before that road trip, like Bucky goes from New York to where they're at in New Mexico in just like a split second.
Well, I think I liked that because it was a complete surprise.
Okay, but what about
we're getting into spoiler territory.
Not really, but
kind of.
All right, I'll save this next part, my other negative for later. Not really a positive, but also not really a negative. It was just very mundane. Was Julia Louis-Dreyfus as Valentina?
Mm-hmm.
I know we've seen her before in other projects, but I guess I was expecting to feel more of like a threat.
Yeah,
from her,
or just like more her just like vicious ambition to get whatever she wants.
Yeah, because then we also get her assistant Mel that I didn't care for her character as well.
No, they didn't do. I feel like they tried to build like a little bit of an emotional connection between her and Bucky, and there wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would say that's another negative. But again, like not too many negatives. I think there's definitely more positives than negatives for Thunderbolts.
For sure.
I don't know, can you think of like a negative off the top of your head? I know you just agreed with me about the pacing. Like maybe not so much negative, but just like okay, that's good.
Yeah, that's like that was like kind of my attitude towards the whole movie.
Yeah.
Like everything was good, not amazing, but good. I enjoyed it, and then I didn't really have too many, beefs with it. Like, oh, why'd they do this instead of that? Like there was nothing like that where it just like jumped out at me.
Yeah. All right, so let's dive into some questions from the Discord. Remember, if you haven't joined our Discord, make sure to check out the Patreon and join it, where you can give us suggestions and questions for every episode. First question, was one of the end credit scenes the best end credit scene in the MCU?
Best in the MCU? No. Best in past 5 years? Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's definitely one of the best end credit scenes.
One of the best.
Even one of the best out of all MCU movies.
No, I agree.
But I wouldn't say the best.
Not the best.
Not the best.
I don't know what you consider the best, honestly. Like, I'm curious for this ranking later.
Yeah.
This ranking, I have no idea, because I feel like end credit scenes aren't something we really talk about that much.
No. It's sort of just more of like the feeling you get from it.
Yeah.
Did the Thunderbolts being cast in Avengers Doomsday affect the experience at all?
No. But I mean, then again, I'm not one that pays attention too closely to like all the
cast,
the business
casting,
stuff. Yeah, like things that could possibly ruin things for me.
I thought it would have more an effect on me, but as soon as the movie started and I sat down, I kind of forgot all of that.
Yeah, you're just focused on what's in front of you.
Yeah. So honestly, I wouldn't say it ruined the effect. And honestly, like after seeing Thunderbolts and spending time with those characters that are going to be in Avengers Doomsday, like it makes me really happy that they are going to be in Doomsday. Are the trailers misleading? That's an interesting question. So did you see, how many trailers did you see? Because if you don't know by now, Garrett isn't really one to watch trailers.
I'm not a trailer guy.
He doesn't like trailers. So
I just like to go in and be surprised.
Okay. So one trailer in particular that this question probably derives from is the trailer that is like an A24 trailer. They made it into like an A24 trailer.
I think I know what you're talking about.
And honestly, there was like a big deal because they were putting highlights on the crew in this movie.
Yeah.
They put a highlight on the writers and directors, Eric Pearson, Joanna Celo, and Jake Schreier, who are the writers and directors of Beef. And then cinematographer Andrew Draws Palermo, who was a cinematographer of The Green Knight, another A24 project. These are all A24 projects. Production designer of Hereditary, Grace Young, who was I just said that. I'm just going through what they listed off. I'm the editor of Minari and then the composers of Everything Everywhere All at Once. So did you see that trailer?
Maybe like clips of it. I don't know.
Okay, it's only a minute. I'm gonna show it to you right now.
Let me just look it up.
Okay. Here, wait, let me just share it to you through messages.
There's something wrong.
are not coming. Who will keep people safe?
If anything, maybe slightly, but I don't think that was too misleading.
You know, when I first saw that trailer, I was really hoping that it would just like match the tone of it.
Yeah.
And I think for the most part, I wouldn't say it's too misleading.
It's not too misleading.
I would say
I think that
slightly.
makes it look a little darker than the actual movie.
Yeah, a little more darker and just like a little more artsy.
Yeah.
But I would say just slightly.
Slightly, but overall, like I'd say that matched the vibe pretty well.
Honestly, if we can keep getting trailers like that too, that would be great.
Right?
I really like that trailer. That's a French. The song is a French DJ. He's you've heard of him. You probably
Dog. I don't.
no. I'm just saying. Gesellfestine. He's done some albums with The Weeknd.
Oh,
So that's
okay.
where you probably heard him from.
All right.
But yeah, fire song.
Yeah, no, it was good.
I like that song. So I would say just slightly.
Slightly misleading, but yeah.
Next question / statement we have is, I know they did a lot more practical effects / scenes in the movie. Do we think it added benefit? Do we think it was an added benefit? And do you think we will start to see more of it?
Yeah, no, it was like we said, that was definitely a positive. That was one of our positives that we mentioned. And yeah, I mean, I hope the MCU does more. I mean, I can't tell you what they plan on doing, and you know, but especially with I don't know, with the scale of stuff that's like about to happen and like the amount of power we're about to see, it's kind of tough to see them using practical effects in those situations. This was a perfect opportunity for them to do practical effects like we've seen before with like these, I don't want to say street level, but you know, like very real characters. Like, you know, Captain America, he's just a dude in the peak of human physical condition. So what's he gonna do? He's gonna throw punches.
Right.
So you know, that leaves a lot of opportunity for hand-to-hand combat and stuff like that. Which is what we see in this, because it's a lot of those kind of characters.
No, yeah, I think obviously it's always great when you see practical effects and stunts. Like, I mean, you just watch any behind the scene of Tom Cruise doing a movie, and it's just like, I mean, that's filmmaking. It's just fucking wicked to see. You know, Tom Cruise actually hanging on the side of a plane and on the Burj Khalifa in Dubai. Like, it's just, it's wild.
And when you hear that they're the ones actually doing it, it makes you want to go see it that much more.
Right. So yeah, I definitely think it was a benefit. Do I think we'll start to see more of it? Like you said, it's kind of hard to imagine that with the scale of things, almost like with Infinity and Endgame. It's like, okay, obviously we know there's going to be a big ass green screen for some stuff.
There's got to be CGI.
I mean, the production design hopefully is on a scale large enough where you can still do it like practically, but it looks good as well. So, you know, we'll definitely see. But yeah, it was definitely a great benefit.
You know, I will say this real quick though. I don't know what it is, but is it me or does it feel like the flying is like different, or just like, I don't know, just like the CGI movements, like where you know for a fact like it's 100% CGI. I don't know,
like they don't look as good.
It just doesn't look as good to me. Like I noticed it a couple times with Sentry, and then like honestly, one of the most blatant things that I saw in recent years was Deadpool and Wolverine, and like, bro, there was a point where Wolverine looked like a fucking video game character.
Right.
So I don't know why that's like becoming more and more of a problem.
Yeah.
And like that Wolverine video game type of stuff. Like I did notice that in episode 1 of Daredevil, Born Again. In that first fight scene.
Well, yeah,
like,
that's what people were complaining about.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't know, like I get he's gonna be doing like superhuman feature, you know, superhuman type of stuff, especially since they're gonna have him be more acrobatic and everything. But it shouldn't look unnatural.
No, I don't even think they needed to do that effect in Daredevil Born Again.
I don't think they did either. Like,
because I saw behind the scenes and it looked just as good.
Yeah, no, they make it like he's almost weightless.
Right.
Like every movement he does has like no impact on his environment around him.
Right.
I don't know. It's like he just seems like he moves too quickly and too light.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's man, like some of the best flying effects that we've gotten is still from Man of Steel.
Mm-hmm.
I think the flying looks fantastic in that. It was like how yeah.
Vision's flying is good. Actually, Sentry's flying reminded me of Vision's.
Okay. Next question. Who was the best character in the movie?
Between Yelena or Alexei.
Yeah.
It's one of them.
And I think it'd be safe to say that would be a lot of people's answer.
Yeah. It's one of those two. Honestly, take your pick.
Yeah.
I feel like we see a lot of character development with both characters, but Yelena in particular. I mean, my personal favorite, I think I'm gonna say Alexei, just because I love how funny he was, and those emotional moments. Like he was just being a good dad throughout the movie.
Yeah,
so.
it's no doubt either Yelena or the Red Guardian. So
yeah, take your pick.
After watching Thunderbolts, do you think Yelena is a top MCU character?
I'd say so.
Yeah,
I hope they use her a lot more in the future, and make her. I mean, she is like basically taking Black Widow's spot. That's kind of how this is working.
And I don't think it'd be crazy to say if I might already like Yelena more than I did Natasha Romanoff. So
is that recency bias? Maybe.
I don't know. I think it's just because it's Florence Pugh.
Maybe. But also I feel like they didn't highlight on
Natasha's backstory.
Yeah, on Black Widow too
Right.
much. And when they finally did, it was like too late at that point.
Right. It was too late at that point.
And that movie was also not great.
Yeah.
And also, and then also like the Bruce thing that just like I feel like that tainted it, and nobody wanted that. And they tried to make it happen. It was just weird.
They're just already off to a better start with Yelena, and they're already off earlier developing her character more, giving her more backstory.
Yeah.
So.
And I feel like the fact that she can be a lot less serious makes her a lot more likable too. Because like those scenes with her and Haley Steinfeld in Hawkeye are funny as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Kate Bishop, that shit kills me.
Next question, back to Florence Pugh. Does Florence Pugh deliver one of the better performances in the MCU? I mean, it's hard to say and think back about all the performances in the MCU.
There's a lot of them.
But it's clear that I think Florence Pugh is one of the best actresses that we've had in the MCU.
Yeah.
For sure.
No, I think just look at her catalog outside the MCU, and that alone is enough to tell you like this is a talented actress. Yeah. And this is somebody that they should be using for the future of the MCU if they want it to survive. Like they need to take these talented actors that they have and put their time and money into giving them good stories in the MCU.
And Florence Pugh is like the perfect example of an MCU actor, an actor that can be in the MCU, but also in great films outside of the MCU.
Same with Sebastian Stan.
Same with
David Harbour.
Yeah.
He's done great. He has a great filmography outside of it as well. I don't know how much filmography, but I mean, obviously everybody knows him from Stranger Things. I love him in Violent Night. I mean, I don't know if that's the best pick, but he played a great mean Santa. That shit was awesome.
Yeah, Florence Pugh. What do we have? Midsommar, Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
Dune Part 2, Little Women, We Live in Time. I did not know she was in Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. She's a voice.
Who is she in that?
I'm looking it up right now.
She's not Kitty Softpaws, is she?
No, she's Goldilocks.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Kitty Softpaws is Selma Hayek.
Yeah, I was like, there's no way that's her. Selma Hayek.
Yeah. Elite.
Yeah. That's elite ball knowledge.
Yeah.
Right
I think Florence Pugh is the perfect example of an actor that can be in the MCU, but also great projects outside of the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, okay. Why are they called the Thunderbolts? That is a question that we'll get into in the spoiler department.
Yeah.
And then what is the post credit scene? So
All right.
Yeah.
We got two. All right. We getting into spoilers? Let's get into spoilers.
well, let's go ahead and do our end credit scene ranking first.
Okay. Guys, don't hate me for this list. I'm gonna go through this as fast as possible. I don't even. I genuinely could switch this list up so much.
It's tough. There's too many. There's
Yeah.
like 50 post credit scenes.
There's so many post credit scenes. They all have their own appeal to them.
Yeah.
And all right.
Yep.
Let's get it. All right.
All
Well,
right, let's see.
Let's do a couple of honorable mentions. Hold on. All right. I got a few honorable mentions. All right. So one of them, I do have the blade reveal at the end of Eternals, with the sword and, our boy Jon Snow. So I do have that as an honorable mention. I'm going to do the mid-credit scene from the Thunderbolts. Also honorable mention for that one with Red Guardian. We'll get to that when we get to it. And lastly, I will have the blip scene from Ant-Man and the Wasp, where they were experimenting with the...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about that one.
I like that one a lot. And it actually it was a major plot point in Endgame.
Yeah.
Because he got out.
Yeah.
And everybody thought he disappeared, but no, he was just in the quantum realm.
Oh, shit. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Would you have put that higher?
Maybe.
Yeah. No,
Maybe.
I very heavily considered putting that one in my top 10. But, all right, at number 10, I do have Captain America's message at the end of Spider-Man Homecoming. I love this one because it is a hilarious fourth wall break where he's talking about patience and how it's the key to winning victories and da-da-da. And he's like, sometimes it leads to nothing, which is exactly what it led to at the end of this. So number 10 is Homecoming. Number 9, I do have our meeting of baby T'Challa in Wakanda Forever. Dude, that was an emotional
That was one of the more emotional post-credit scenes.
That was a very emotional one. And honestly, with it, I feel like it has that much more personal attachment just because of, Chadwick Boseman's passing and everything like that. And so honestly, it kind of felt like a way of keeping his spirit alive, knowing that we had a little junior T'Challa that's in the MCU and we'll see later. So it was just it was a very heartwarming moment. Number 8, I do have the Avengers shawarma. I might get some flack for not having that higher, but they are just sitting there doing nothing. But all right, I'm downplaying it though. I do love this one. All from an improvised line off of RDJ. I think that's what makes this one so special. He literally said that one line about a shawarma joint 10 blocks down, and they recorded this. That is hilarious.
Not to mention, people watching that movie, a lot of them probably were intrigued in trying shawarma after that.
Shawarma sales went up.
Yeah.
They did after that end credit scene. At number 7, I have the Spider logo coming off of Spider-Man's gauntlet at the end of Civil War. I feel like this one we were all just hyped because we were like, oh shit, here we go.
Yes.
We're getting a Spider-Man movie. And that was just like one more nod to that. So I just remember being very hyped on that. At number 6, I have at the end of the Avengers, Thanos' reveal. That one, obviously, this was to be honest, I feel like this one didn't have as much impact on me at the time because I was like, who the fuck is that guy? Because, I kind of learned more about Marvel, as I grew up with these movies. But yeah, we don't get any we don't get any lines from him, but still, that was our big bad, and that was our reveal of Thanos for the first time. Number 5, I have Deadpool and Wolverine, the Human Torch rant.
Oh, I already forgot about that one.
Dude, that is 100% a top 5 post-credit scene. That shit was hilarious. It is Johnny Storm himself, Chris Evans playing him, and the amount of excitement that you hear Chris Evans when he talks about this scene and how he wanted no cue cards. He memorized all of that.
It was funny.
And and again, Deadpool breaking the fourth wall. He's like, I'm clearing my name on this shit. I'm sick of these disgusting lies.
Well, it's funny because during the movie, before the post-credit scene, you really think Deadpool is just saving himself. He's just bullshitting.
Yeah.
And then they play that. And I was like, oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah. No, and honestly, it's so fitting too because Johnny Storm, he is a shit talker like that. Number 4, I have end credit scene of Iron Man, the Avengers Initiative, the beginning of it all, and just it's nostalgic. It's the intro to the MCU.
If there's one thing that was great about Phase 1 of the MCU, was the post credit scenes.
It was, bro. Phase 1 had great post credit scenes. Number 3, I have Age of Ultron, Thanos, I'll do it myself. With Josh Brolin as the voice actor for that one, finally. So that was our first seeing of Josh Brolin Thanos. And that shit was hype.
Yeah.
That shit was hype. Number 2, I do have the Thunderbolts final post-credit scene.
Ooh, whoa. All the way number 2.
Yeah, bro.
Good post-credit scene.
It was good. Oh, wait. Are we in spoiler? No, not yet.
No
spoilers. All right. And number 1, I have the Infinity War post-credit scene of Fury disappearing.
Interesting.
I'm so curious what you have at number 1 because I'm like, what is better than that? Did I even say the one that you have at number 1? I definitely said it, right?
Yes, you said it.
Okay.
You said it.
Because I love that one. And honestly, that one, it kind of just made the effects of Infinity War feel that much more real, seeing them happen in real time in New York. And, 2 characters that we know and love, Maria Hill and Fury, disappearing right before our very eyes. And then calling for Captain Marvel, who...
That's your favorite part, right?
What?
That's your favorite part, calling up Captain Marvel. Knowing that we're going to get Captain Marvel. It's your favorite part of the post-credit scene, right?
Oh, yeah, that was definitely it. I mean, I didn't know what I was in for at the time, but, I saw Captain Marvel. I got hyped. I was like, oh, who is this? Who is this heroic hero that we're about to get? Yeah. That didn't pan out like I thought, but I was super hyped at the time. So, yeah.
Oh, man. All right.
I mean, geez, everybody was hyped. You saw the sales on Captain Marvel. It wasn't because of the movie.
Well, it was because it was in between Infinity War and Endgame.
No shit.
Yeah.
And it was right after Infinity War. And because of that post-credit scene.
Yeah.
So clearly I was not the only one hyped by that.
All right. Well, here are my 10 top.
10 top, eh?
Here are my top 10 MCU end credit scenes. Number 10,
oh, struggling already, huh?
No, I like this one a lot. It's just like, it's unfortunate that it's been leading to nowhere. But number 10, I did write down Eternal's foreshadowing blade.
Yeah.
Especially when you hear Mahershala Ali's voice. I think it's super badass.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit got me hyped. And it's just led nowhere, unfortunately.
They blue balled you.
Yeah, I got blue balled. Number 9, I do also have the Wakanda Forever post-credit scene where Nakia introduces her son with T'Challa Tashiri.
Interesting, we both have that at 9.
Yeah. Out of 10, yeah, that's kind of weird.
Yeah, especially with how random this list was to us, but
random.
No, that was a good post-credit scene though.
Definitely one of the more emotional post-credit scenes for sure.
Yeah.
And like you said, it definitely feels like a way that just kept Chadwick Boseman's T'Challa spirit alive in the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
Number 8. This might shock you, but I'm gonna go with when Coulson finds Thor's hammer in Iron Man 2.
No, that doesn't surprise me. I thought about that one. It was cool.
Yeah, there was something about Phase 1 post-credit scenes where they were each post-credit scene was introducing a new character.
Yes.
And it wasn't like, oh, we're gonna show you this character's introduction and then have a movie come out 5 years later. It's like, no, this is the next movie coming out.
Yeah, no. So you knew that.
Yes. The post-credit scenes in Phase 1 felt...
It was a way heavier impact.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nah, and that was good. And, we love our boy Phil Coulson.
Yeah.
Or at least I love my boy Phil Coulson. I watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I still like Phil Coulson.
Mm-hmm.
Just not as much as you.
Big fan.
Sorry, I didn't watch 7 seasons of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Actually, I don't think I finished Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Really?
Yeah, no, I got up to, I think I finished like at season 5 and then I stopped.
Jeez, bullshit.
It gets crazy. You know that they're like 20 episode seasons.
Yeah, I know.
All right then. So
I watched Birdo watch every fucking season for years.
Every year.
Yeah.
He like finishes the whole show every year.
All right, what do we got next? Number 7, I'm gonna go with the Civil War Wakanda post-credit scene where we see
Bucky.
Yeah, where T'Challa takes in Bucky.
Yeah.
And then we see the Black Panther statue in Wakanda.
Really?
Yeah, that shit got me hyped for Black Panther.
Interesting. All right.
Number 6, a little higher than you on this. I'm gonna go with the homecoming cat breaking the fourth wall post-credit
so
scene.
good.
It's just so good.
It is so good.
Like it leads to nothing.
Yeah.
And that's exactly the point.
That was
funny.
That's what it was supposed to be.
Yeah. Sometimes.
And he's wearing that 2012 Avengers suit, the goofiest one of all.
But what makes it great too is that we saw Cap doing those same bits earlier in the movie.
Yes.
So he waited around.
Yeah. One I wish that we could include in this that I consider an amazing post-credit scene is Deadpool has one of the best ones. But it was technically
the first Deadpool?
The first Deadpool. Yeah, he's like, you're still here.
Yeah.
It's over.
Yeah.
Go home.
Yeah.
And then he like gives like a whole spiel on Deadpool 2 and he's like, we just got to find a guy with a big shoulders and a flat top or some shit like that trying to play Cable.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a good post-credit scene. Where am I at? Moving into the top 5, number 5, I'm going to go with seeing Thanos for the first time in Avengers 2012.
Okay.
That's just
reveal.
Little grin that he had.
Yeah.
He was very purple in that one.
Very purple. He kept getting gradually lighter and lighter.
Yeah. Number 4, where are we at? I wrote these all over the place. Shit, where's my number? There we go. Number 4, I do have the last end credit scene in the Thunderbolts.
Oh, okay.
Very good post-credit scene.
Very good.
Offers a clear direction for the MCU moving forward. Definitely a top 5 post-credit scene already.
All right. Maybe mine's recency bias why I got it so high, but whatever.
Number 3, I'm gonna go with the shawarma post-credit scene in Avengers.
Wow.
It's just like it's
so simple.
It's simple, but it's just like a very comforting post-credit scene.
Yeah. No, it's a good one. It's a good
one. And I do like shawarma.
Oh, you do, huh? Yeah, I see you go to a shawarma joint every week.
We went to a shawarma joint before Brave New World. It was good. Were you there for that? Yeah.
Where?
Or did you miss it? Oh, wait, were you working? I think you might have missed it.
Maybe.
Because you saw Brave New World the next day, right? If I'm not mistaken.
I can't remember.
Okay, you would have.
I definitely didn't go to get shawarma with you guys.
Okay, yeah, we went and got shawarma before Brave New World.
Oh, then yeah.
Yeah.
I guess so.
There's a shawarma joint in town center.
Did not know that.
We'll get shawarma before before the next movie we go see together.
We'll put it on the vlog.
Number 2, I have the post-credit scene in Iron Man, the very first Iron Man, where Nick Fury approaches Tony about the Avengers Initiative.
Okay.
Call it a nostalgic post-credit scene, but also it's like the very first one.
Dog, what is number 1?
Like
you didn't even say mine. You didn't even say mine.
What was your number 1 again?
Infinity War, Nick and Maria disappearing.
I didn't have that on my top 10. Yeah.
All right, I might get flamed for mine. I have no idea.
Maybe.
But Jesus.
Like I said, there's just something about the Phase 1 post-credit scenes that just there was an impact on them right away. Number 1. Fine. I'll do it myself.
Oh.
Okay. Avengers Age of Ultron.
Okay.
Thanos post-credit scene.
Okay.
Seeing him pull out that gauntlet. Yeah, shit was about to get real.
All right.
And the post-credit scene, like we said earlier in MCU, that means they weren't playing around. Shit was coming out. So that's my top 10.
All right.
Are you shocked that I had that at number 1?
I don't know.
Fine, I'll do it myself. Josh Brolin for the first time as Thanos.
That's good. It's good.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Honestly, I don't even know if I had one where I was like, oh, that's definitely number 1. Like, honestly, once I got to like the top 5, like you can kind of interchange them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Is it weird that I didn't have one where I was like, oh, that's my favorite ever? I don't know. It's weird. It's weird to me because I normally when I'm making a list, number 1 and number 10, those are the easiest. Everything in between, that's up for debate.
Weird to you, maybe.
Weird to you, maybe. Oh, give me a moment. I have tinnitus.
What?
You know what tinnitus is?
No.
It's a ringing in your ears. You ever get that?
Yeah.
It's like a random ringing.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if that's like if that's actually tinnitus in everybody with like headphones and shit these days.
Is that a good or bad thing? Well,
Not
not good. But.
Not a good thing at all. Yeah,
But I think
it's caused by repeated exposures to like very loud sounds that.
But that ringing in your ear, I've also heard that can just be from like a frequency change in the
what? What changed just now?
I don't know, something, man. Something changed.
Nah, it was only my left ear.
Mm.
I don't know what that was.
Okay, so now we are diving into spoilers. So
Jesus, an hour into it. All right.
Hey, this is gonna be a great spoiler-free review for y'all folks.
Yeah,
then.
I guess so.
So,
all right.
And just gonna be even a longer episode for everyone listening to this opening night.
All right. Well, honestly, since we're on post-credit scenes, let's just talk about those.
Okay,
that's what people want to talk about.
Okay.
All right.
So spoiler warning.
Your question. Your spoiler questions.
Okay.
What are the exact wordings? Let's hear them again.
Okay, so we'll do the post-credit scene first. So actually, I wrote this one down. What is the post-credit scene? Okay, so the first mid-credit scene that we get is of Alexei, the Red Guardian. He is in the grocery store.
And there's just some random lady shopping, and he's in the cereal aisle.
So the Thunderbolts are now on the Wheatie box. Which,
that was... All right.
What?
I feel like you're telling this bad. Whatever. Continue.
Okay.
Continue.
I mean, yeah, you're better at telling stories than me, but so I mean, it was a whole thing throughout the movie where it was like in part of his motivational speech where he tells Yelena,
we can be on Wheaties box.
Yes.
Like he truly believed like this was the makings of an amazing team.
He was so good.
He was so good.
And
so they do a nod to that. They're in the grocery store and there's this lady just trying to pick out cereal and he's just like constantly talking about the Thunderbolts to this lady. He picks up the box and he's in like civilian clothing right now. So that's the other part of it. So he picks up the box and just brings it close to his face as he stares her down and smiles.
Yeah.
He's like, it's me on the box. he's so obvious about it. And he puts it in her shopping cart.
And she starts walking away with it and then at the end of the aisle places it in a random spot.
Yeah, she just dropped it. She did not want those Wheaties.
It was also part of the marketing, some of the posters of the Thunderbolts as well.
Dude, they should have actually put them on a Wheaties box.
I think they did.
They did?
I'm not kidding. They did. I saw Soups. He had a Wheaties box of the Thunderbolts on it.
Okay, but they should have like made it an actual thing in a store, not like something that you just get.
I mean, I don't buy cereal anymore, so I wouldn't even know.
Okay, I have definitely walked through an aisle of cereal. I would have noticed if there was Thunderbolts on a box of Wheaties. Actually, now that I think about it, who the fuck sells Wheaties anymore?
No, Wheaties is a thing still.
I never see Wheaties in the in the cereal aisle.
It's always in the grocery store.
Maybe I just don't look for it.
I mean, I don't buy cereal, but Wheaties exist. Trust me.
I don't know.
So that is the first post-credit scene. The next one and the best one. Do you want to go ahead and explain this one then?
Sure. All right. So we see our new group of heroes, the Thunderbolts, who are now the Avengers. They're through a series of events at the end of the film. What's her name? Valentina. Who was constantly trying to kill our main characters the entire movie.
She was the one who got them set up in the beginning to kill each other.
Yes. So, she was the one who got them together in this vault, and they were all each other's targets. They were supposed to kill each other. In this vault is where they found Sentry, who was a failed project to create a superhuman. And but basically, but he turns out to not be failed. He did get those powers. So she tries to turn Sentry into her own weapon and uses him to try and kill the Thunderbolts. End of the day, Sentry turns on Valentina and is now friends, and they're all buddy with each other with our new Avengers being the Thunderbolts. Because she introduces them to the world. She kind of like hijacks this situation. Like, hey, this is what I've been working on. I created I created a new Avengers. Not really. The entire time she was trying to get rid of these fuckers.
Yeah.
Anyway. So now everybody is all buddy. They're hanging out in the, what is it called now? The Watch Tower?
Yeah, I think so. Just the Watchtower.
It is the old Avengers Tower, and they
Yeah.
changed the name to the Watchtower. And they're discussing because as we learned in Brave New World, the president had asked Sam Wilson to reassemble the Avengers.
Yes.
And so now we have a conflict. Who's the real Avengers?
Yeah.
Is it Sam Wilson's that he's putting together, or is it the ones that we have now that was announced by Valentina? And according to social media, apparently people don't consider our group of Thunderbolts to be the real Avengers. And so Alexei walks in. He has this entire racing suit.
Yeah.
And it says the Avengers on it, and he figured his way to their way to get around the copyright of the Avengers is Avengers with a Z.
Yeah.
And they're all just laughing about it, like, this is why we're Avengers with a Z.
Yeah. And it's funny too because he even has all of the sponsorships on the suit as well.
Tide was on the side and everything. Yeah. And he's like, I got a suit for you.
Yeah.
And you and you. But anyway, while this is going on, we find out that something has entered the atmosphere. So they tell their Friday or whatever is, operating the building to check out what it is. They get a satellite image of it, and we do see a spaceship coming into orbit. And as it turns coming into the atmosphere, what do we see? A big fat number 4 on it, baby.
Yeah.
Fantastic Four. It was an interdimensional vehicle.
And
coming into the MCU.
And you hear the Fantastic Four theme playing as well. Funny enough, the end credit scene kind of got spoiled for me as the credits were rolling, because as the credits were rolling, the music credits showed up.
Music is always last, too.
It's always last. And I saw Fantastic Four theme, Michael Giacchino. I said, that's interesting. I haven't heard it all movie.
Nope, we hadn't.
And I'm like, you know what? I guarantee you they're about to be in this post-credit scene.
Boom.
So we don't see any of the Fantastic Four physically, but we just see their spaceship entering into our dimension. So clearly, Fantastic Four is going to end in a way where their universe is fucked and they need to hop on over to ours.
Either that or somebody requested their help.
Yeah.
Or something like that. But anyway, yeah, that got everybody very hyped. And again, like we said, this was the end credit scene that made the direction of the MCU feel very clear for the first time in the past few years. It's like, okay, we know we're getting Fantastic Four. We just got Thunderbolts.
Yes.
And it's like, oh, look at that. A movie that we know is coming out.
Yes.
This is a end credit scene that led directly to something that is happening very soon. And we had not gotten that in a while because every fucking post-credit scene that we've gotten has not been followed up upon in 5 years. Because Shang-Chi, nothing.
I was going to bring that one up.
Shang-Chi, nothing. Eternals, nothing. What else is nothing that we got?
Multiple in Eternals. Remember fucking Thanos' brother, Harry Styles?
Yeah, Harry Styles, nothing. Thor, Love, and Thunder, introduction of Hercules, nothing.
Yeah.
Everything that came out, it's like, okay, when am I going to see this character? In 10 years?
Yeah. No, this is the first post-credit scene where you're like, okay, next movie.
Yeah.
Here we go.
And guess what? People are going to be fucking excited to go see Fantastic Four now.
Yeah.
I mean, people were already excited, but now you have another reason.
Yeah.
It's connected to something you just saw.
It definitely makes it a lot more clear. Because
shit, just listen to how I'm fucking talking about it with emphasis in my voice. I'm excited.
Even Brave New World's post-credit scene, honestly, Thunderbolts kind of undermines Brave New World's post-credit scene because it's like, okay, Sam, I want you to put together the Avengers. Or shit, that wasn't even the post-credit scene.
No, that was just post-credit. That was in the movie.
You're right. So never mind. Scratch that. Brave New World dog shit post-credit scene.
Well, the post-credit scene in Brave New World sucked. But that is a thing. Multiple Avengers groups. Honestly, I thought maybe it was this is gonna turn into Avengers, the regular Avengers, and then there is an Avengers West Coast. That is a thing. But they're not on the West Coast, so I was like, okay, that doesn't work. But I don't know. There are multiple Avengers groups, so I think that'd be kind of cool if we had 2 separate groups.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I don't know why, but I just thought of this now. And we were talking about it after the movie. Tell you what, if I lived in New York in the MCU, my rent better be $200 top.
Yeah.
or I'm moving out.
Dude, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous how much bullshit they've gone through.
They just went through Kingpin
Yeah.
and Daredevil Born Again.
Dude, and
Sentry.
Sentry. So if you don't know about Sentry, I didn't know much about Sentry. I knew he was super powerful. I knew he had like Superman-like abilities. He literally is Marvel's Superman. With his powers. Like they even describe him as, you know, as powerful as 1,000,000 exploding suns. Like that's his whole thing.
Yeah, even Valentina said
she said 1,000, I think.
Yeah, but she also says that he is more powerful than all the Avengers rolled into one. And that kind of brings up a point for his character development as well, because she's what did he say? Oh, Valentino says essentially you're sounding like a god, and he's like, well, you said I'm stronger than all the Avengers rolled into one, and one of those being a god.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't he?
Yeah. No, but anyway, but with all this power, there does come a caveat, which is his darker half. And in comics, he didn't even know he had this darker half. He was just going around as a superhero persona, and one of the persons that he fights the most is himself. The Void is his other half. And this persona, he has the power of like mental manipulation. He can like reach into your mind and find the darkest parts of it. And not only that,
and trap you there too.
Yeah, and he can like trap you in this like dark realm basically that he creates. And at first you just think all these people are dying because they just turn into a shadow. That shit was actually crazy. When you first see it, you just think he's killing all these people. Like we don't know that they can be revived yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he's scary as the Void.
Very scary. And yeah, it's just one big allegory for depression and loneliness and your past as well, overcoming your past.
Yeah. And the reason he is this way though is because he got this superhero treatment, which is an augmented version of, according to comics, which is an augmented version of Captain America's super serum. Dude, like I swear everything goes back to Captain America. Like in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., there's so many like super serums that are like variants of of Cap's super serum.
Yeah.
And like everybody's just trying to replicate it because it was like the perfect version. But this one they like augmented it and obviously, you know, gave the person extreme power.
Yeah.
But it was given to our character, Bob, who is not the most stable person, which is why he has this darker half. Yeah. He's schizophrenic. He has, you know, crazy anxiety. And so these things manifested with the powers.
Yeah, no, really good. And ultimately leads to one of the more interesting final battles, third acts that you see in an MCU movie too. You know, it's not a battle that's won by power.
Oh, I knew it wasn't going to be. Yeah. I was like, these characters and they're fighting Sentry, they're going to befriend him or there's going to be some kind of loophole because there is absolutely no way they're beating him in a straight up fist fight.
Right. Yeah, no, absolutely. They try to.
They literally try.
We see them try to.
Nothing happened.
No. And it's the easiest obstacle Sentry had to go through.
Yeah. I mean, now it's just free for all on spoilers.
Yeah.
Is there anything spoiler talk? I mean, I feel like we talked about the movie a decent amount without revealing stuff,
which is shocking for us.
It is shocking.
So I was gonna say one thing I also wish that I saw more of was, Congressman Barnes.
Really?
Yeah.
That's the one thing I'm so happy we didn't see.
Really? Or just like, really?
No, dude, I was like, this is not Bucky. I saw that I saw it in Brave New World. I was like, what the fuck is Bucky Barnes doing? He's not a fucking congressman. Are you kidding me?
At least like show us how he got into that position.
I don't even care. I'm just glad he's out of it. I did not need to see more of that. Bro, oh my God. Can we talk about how during that car chase though, he pulls up like the fucking Terminator.
Yeah.
Dude, that was straight Terminator. All that was a Terminator reference. It was amazing. Bro, he even had the sawed-off shotgun.
And the car flipping was straight up the Dark Knight.
That was straight up Dark Knight.
Yeah.
And the tech that I was referring to earlier that was reminiscent of how you knew it was going to be Winter Soldier was in the Winter Soldier. He uses those that magnetic car bomb that slides under the cars. He was using those on the vehicles in this car chase as well.
I will still always miss the sound his arm used to make.
Oh yeah, no, it's they kind of replicate it, but it's not the same.
It's not the same, man.
No.
The sound his arm makes in the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's so good.
Spoiler wise, let's see what else. Yeah, I guess because we didn't really need to dive into spoilers on this, but just well, we were talking about the Red Guardian and Yelena.
Yeah.
And just diving more into that relationship, it was just there was a lot of great speeches in there. Oh, that was another question. Why are they called the Thunderbolts?
Oh yeah. So growing up when Yelena was still living with, Jesus, dude, I always want to say, whenever I think of Scarlett Johansson, I think of Scarlet Witch, and I just like confuse everything.
Dude,
it's so annoying.
I do the same
hate
thing.
But when she was growing up with Natasha and Alexei and like their little fake family that they had, because the whole thing was like a covert operation. They played on a soccer team, and it was a terrible soccer team. They didn't win a single game, and apparently there was a girl that was on their team that shit in the middle of the field. But the name of their soccer team was the Thunderbolts. So that is how they get the name.
Now,
And John Walker, he like just randomly called them. He's like, "Oh, what are we? Like he just said the Thunderbolts."
Yeah.
And then he's like, or maybe I can't forget if Yelena gave that name, but like
no, Yelena had talked about it.
She talked about it, and then he called themselves the Thunderbolts, and Alexei got so excited. He's like, "You named them after your team?" He was so excited about it.
But why is there an asterisk after the name Thunderbolts as well in the title? So I was kind of diving into that to see what I could come up with. So I mean, that's
is this just a theory?
Yeah. So the symbol is used to mark printed or written text, typically as a reference to an annotation or to stand for omitted matter. Omit, leave out or exclude someone or something intentionally or forgetfully. Do you think it was there because they like purposely left out Taskmaster out of this group? That's just one theory.
I don't like that theory.
Or
honestly, like now that you're talking, I mean, my first thought is Thunderbolts with the asterisk because they changed into the Avengers.
The Avengers, yes.
Yeah.
That was also my second theory that I was
That's
thinking.
what I'm
I think
thinking.
that one makes a little more sense.
Makes a lot more sense.
I think, a lot more sense.
Oh, also, yeah, I did not mention that. They did Taskmaster dirty.
So now let's talk about Taskmaster.
Bro, I was actually upset. And I don't even like this version of Taskmaster. I was so disappointed with this version of what we got in Black Widow. And I was like, okay, you know what? Whatever. Maybe they'll do something to redeem the character. I don't know. But Taskmaster is a dope character that you don't just like throw away. Bam! Like just gone within the first few minutes of the movie.
Oh my God. Dude,
I was so upset.
Honestly, it was so upsetting that it was like also funny.
Yeah.
Was it upsetting? I didn't care because honestly, it's like, yeah, let's just move on from this Taskmaster.
All I know is, it was funny because, like nobody liked this version of the character. I feel like when everybody saw this version, everyone was pissed. Everyone was pissed. Like, Taskmaster is just supposed to be like an extremely skilled combatant who can, recognize fight patterns and is able to mimic them. This one's a fucking chip in the head, and it turned out to be a girl, which I don't have a problem with. But it was the way they did it. It was extremely misleading in Black Widow. The build of that suit, nothing indicated that was a girl. It was a dude in that suit.
Saying a girl has to have a petite body.
Blake, it was pecs instead of like
tits.
Yes, like there was nothing that indicated that this was a woman, and then like the face reveal, and it's like just a hidden woman inside this man's suit. And that you could tell they even recognized that with this, because the Taskmaster that we saw is the same character, but it actually contoured to her body like a suit would.
Yeah, it did.
You could tell it was a woman in there.
Yeah, you could.
So they clearly backtracked on that as well.
I mean, they backtracked on everything with Taskmaster.
Yeah, they backtracked on everything by shooting her in the fucking head.
Dude. That was crazy, bro. And they weren't even trying to hide the fact that Taskmaster was not going to be in this movie with the trailers, with the ads, with like some of the posters.
like I said, I'm not a trailer guy.
Yeah.
And also like, so there was like this image on the screen before we watched the movie, and it was like a picture with all the characters. It had Valentina, it had Alexei, it had Yelena, it had Sentry, it had everybody, including Taskmaster. So I was like, oh, okay, yeah, like Taskmaster is in this movie. Even the posters that we got, if you look behind Blake, I don't even know if you can see it, but Taskmaster is in the top right corner. I'm like, oh, Taskmaster is a part of this movie for all of 2 minutes.
Well, in that trailer I showed you where they make it like an A24 trailer, they don't even include Taskmaster's name in those characters. They do not even put Taskmaster's name in there. They're like, oh, Yelena, John Walker, Red Guardian.
Yeah.
They don't even put Taskmaster in that trailer.
No.
So I wonder if that's just a way of like, all right, let's move on from this Taskmaster. We'll give y'all another Taskmaster later down the road.
I think that's what this was.
Yeah.
Because like it is a very cool character. I don't think you can just, disregard it like that. But I don't know. Maybe they'll give us something with Spider-Man. Taskmaster is involved.
Spider-Man, Taskmaster.
They're
villain?
they go together a lot.
Oh, okay.
Go against each other a lot.
Yeah. All right. What else spoiler wise? Sentry. Well, we kind of already dove into that. You were kind of diving into that.
Yeah, about like the power set and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, essentially like Sentry being the bad guy just turns out, giving the wrong person powers.
Mm-hmm.
And like we don't really see this like split personality most of the movie, but unbeknownst to everybody, like the void is like always there. Like he kept talking about like how he had this darkness in him.
Yeah.
And and Yelena was relating to him saying like, everybody, like we all feel that loneliness.
Mm-hmm.
And like you're not alone, like everybody experiences that. But what we didn't know is that the void for him was quite literal.
Yeah.
So that's why we see the bad guy at the end. And apparently as long as he like doesn't use his powers, like he doesn't access like the Sentry powers within him, the void stays at bay. So but when he's using his good, when he's using his powers for good, like we've seen him do, like he's freaking incredible. It's like he's strong as hell. He has telekinesis. I didn't even know he had telekinesis.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, no, he's powerful as fuck as Sentry, but he's also scary as the void. So
yeah,
it comes with that caveat.
Mm-hmm. And even in the void, we get in depth. We get more in depth with our Thunderbolts character as well. Like we see a past trauma with Yelena.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, we're already offering more insight to Yelena's character than we did with Natasha Romanoff.
Yeah. And I liked this mental manipulation way to go because you can just like kind of see the flashbacks made sense of why we're seeing them.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Like it wasn't just like here's a flashback into her character. It's like no, this is literally his power and like what he does to people.
Yeah, and you see like John Walker, who's been lonely as well. The whole movie, we think that he still does have his wife and kids, but we find out that they leave him.
Mm-hmm. And we got a flash into like obviously his dysfunctional relationship with his wife and and with his child, even though his child was very young.
Yeah.
He was more concerned with his reputation and just like looking up stuff on the news. It's lit up. And just looking up stuff on the news, just about like news reports on himself, and that was really all he cared about. He wasn't paying attention to his family.
And in that third act as well, or like leading up to it, we get the Thunderbolts group like splits up for like 2 seconds. But in that moment, we do get a fantastic father and daughter moment between Yelena and Alexei, and just Yelena finally
she just kind of breaks down.
Yeah, she's just finally breaking down and talking about how lonely she's been and why haven't, if you really cared,
why didn't you call? Yeah,
he hasn't called her in like a year.
After her sister died.
Yeah, so it's just this boiling point for Yelena's character, and just leads just a great dialogue exchange between her and Alexei, and a great speech from from Alexi as well.
Mhm.
That was the most emotional moment to me in the movie.
Yeah, and that that trailer moment where she's like, "Okay, that was really good."
Yeah.
that was after this father-daughter
Yeah.
moment, and she was saying that in reference to his motivational speech that he just gave her.
Yeah. Because in the trailers, you're like, okay, it was a Thunderbolt speech.
Yeah,
But I know it's just one-on-one, father-daughter.
yeah.
And
It's a much more emotional moment than you expected.
it is. And like she said, it is really good.
It is really good.
Um,
Is my Yelena impression good?
Sure.
All right.
All right,
But
I think that's it.
I think that covers it.
A lot of positives to go around for Thunderbolts.
I definitely recommend go seeing it.
Yeah.
Get you nice and hyped for Fantastic Four, which hopefully can, follow up on this great handoff that Thunderbolts has given it.
MCU's back.
MCU's back, baby.
If Fantastic Four sticks, I think it's safe to say we're back.
We're back. We're cooking.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening to this full review. Make sure to check out our Patreon for bonus episodes as well. If you want early access to some episodes,
This is to the Patreon, my guy. They're here.
and the podcast.
Oh,
Yeah,
all right.
Bozo ass.
Say it again.
Make sure to check out our Patreon for extra bonus episodes, or if you want early access to episodes as well. So we had an early access episode for our Sinners review, as well as for Thunderbolts as well, for a spoiler-free reaction to it, bonus content, and giveaways as well. Currently in the middle of our Epic Universe giveaway, where we have 4 items from Epic Universe to give away. We just did our first prize with the toothless popcorn bucket that lights up.
Mhm.
Our next is going to be, our next one is the a Yoshi cup from Nintendo World. The one after that is going to be a Donkey Kong Country water bottle. And then our last but not least, most prized possession of the giveaway is a toothless Loungefly backpack from Epic Universe. So again, make sure to join our Patreon. All you have to do is be a part of our Lannister tier and up to join our giveaways. And the toothless backpack may just be yours.
It could be.
It could be. But hopefully we can go to Epic Universe again soon, because that park is so dope.
I don't know how we're getting in, but
I don't know, but it's so dope.
It is awesome.
Yeah. And as always, make sure to leave us a rating and review wherever you're listening to this podcast episode. But that's going to do it here for this Thunderbolts review. We'll see you next time on DuckTakes.
See you guys.